There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time.
What's up, y'all? Burn Live, y'all marijuanically keeping y'all connected, hashtagging these red eyes, changing the viewer's eye red, keeping underage, smoking off social media, killing myself for your entertainment, sitting here with friends and family, starting a cannabisation. Welcome to another Burn Live show, y'all. Woo! Everybody have their own ways. Everybody have their own ways of thinking. Everybody have their own thoughts, what they want done and how they want to proceed things. I say this because it's election season. It's also race hustler season. You got people dropping out. It's like the playoff in football. You got you in, you out, you out. It's really, really going down like this in the mainstream media. People are really, truly starting to pick sides. Hey, so I know in my community, and I just really heard this today. I mean, I've been new this, but I really heard this today. And I say this a lot, my community don't give a flying saucer until a problem come landing on their doorsteps. Okay? I have noticed that I have brought up things that are happening around America to my families and friends and people that watch my normal show, and they really tell me that they don't care until it lands on their doorstep. It's like you hearing on the news that the Unabomber is real, but you not going to make no attempts to make sure that you're safe until you find out the Unabomber is in your neighborhood. That is what type of information, and that's what I'm picking up, if y'all can put it down. I also heard from a famous person that no matter how my black people look, no matter what good my black people do in America, it's never ever going to take place of trying to go to the next level. We as a black community, my black people, my niggas, will never be ever going to go to the next level because there's always going to be a person standing right there. Now, for people that like and think differently, you might as well say we are in a way. I'm in a way. You might as well say I am in the way. But when you got, and I know y'all seen the title, but when you got titles like this, when you got people that are winning, when you got black people that, that you want to say endorse? Can we say endorse? People that endorse a problematic person. I'm gonna like it like this. Y'all see it. Ron DeSantis is out. Nikki Haley is looked at as a Democrat. She don't know what racist is. But yet again, my black community is still frowned upon, still looked upon. We are still the main thing that goes on in mainstream media, like we don't have a problem. Notice how we should be in the mainstream media like we do have a problem, but we're in the mainstream media like we don't have a problem. But enough about me and my peoples. Let's get into these stories, and I'm going to show you what I mean.
Kennedy, along with Guy Benson, Molly Line, and Charlie Hurt. The big story tonight, Governor Ron DeSantis suspending his presidential campaign.
He has my endorsement because we can't go back to the old Republican guard of yesteryear, a repackaged form of warmed over corporatism that Nikki Haley represents. The days of putting Americans last, of kowtowing to large corporations, of caving to woke ideology are over.
Well, DeSantis is back in Florida tonight after canceling an event earlier today in Manchester. Fox Business correspondent Madison Allworth joins us live with more on the DeSantis dropout. Madison.
Kaylee, the restaurant next to me was supposed to host Governor Ron DeSantis tonight and mark his return to New Hampshire. Instead, now it marks his exit from the 2024 race for president. DeSantis took to social media to announce that he was dropping out and to throw his support behind President Trump.
If there was anything I could do to produce a favorable outcome, more campaign stops, more interviews.
There is articles and stuff been put out that DeSantis should have did a lot more. There are people that I watch that are DeSantis sponsor DeSantis, that favor DeSantis, that says, man, if he would have just got out here a little bit sooner, got into social media, got on some of these platforms, he would have had a better outcome. And I cannot knock none of that, because when I was actually promoting DeSantis, like, man, if I don't want to vote for Trump, I'll vote for Santis. But then we was looking for DeSantis to come out here and promote himself, and he wouldn't. And I heard he got offered exclusive interviews. You know what I'm saying? Like a whole podcast team was going to back him up and run with him. Like, hey, bro, I got anything you need. I got you. You one of the reasons why I moved to Florida. And to be honest with people that are watching me now, I really wanted to move to Florida in 2025. That was my idea. That was my thought. That was my plans. I really wanted to move to Florida. But now, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm a little skeptical. I'm a little skeptical.
I would do it. But I can't ask our supporters to volunteer their time and donate their resources if we don't have a clear path to victory.
Despite finishing second in Iowa, DeSantis didn't gain traction here in New Hampshire. The most recent polls showed the Florida governor with only 6%. President Trump, who had regularly mocked DeSantis on the campaign trail, showed appreciation for the governor's endorsement, telling Fox News Digital, quote, "Very honored to have his endorsement. I look forward to working together with him to beat Joe Biden, who is the worst and most corrupt president in the history of our country." Now, there were some DeSantis supporters who still showed up to the restaurant this evening, and they spoke to us. All of them were disappointed, but they also understood why he made the decision to drop out. One supporter telling us he's not sure who he's going to support now.
I absolutely will not support Nikki Haley. Her behavior in this race has been well beneath the Republican nominee, and Donald Trump's behavior has never been something that, as a father of two young children, I could support in the White House. So we're going to have to figure things out going forward, and I don't know who we're going to support, but it's going to be very difficult to stomach supporting either one of them.
That is what I tripped off of too. When I listen to some of these interviews and people talk, people always talk about the things that he said. You as a president shouldn't say the things that you shouldn't say. That's one thing I always hear for people who don't like Trump. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not going to knock that. But then when you ask these same people, what is it specifically that he said that make you be like, okay, that's fucked up. That's wrong. He shouldn't have said it. You right. You have
no, baby, you don't need.
When you hear stuff like that, and this is a prime example of what I'm talking about right here. This interview was a while back, and this is DC Fly, and he's getting interviewed. Man asked DC Fly, yo, what is it about the great white hype, meaning Trump, that you don't like? What did he say that you don't like? He said he's in the news, it's every day. Okay, so what is it you
And then the
don't
stuff that
like?
he says, I just be like, wow, this is the president talking.
Like what, for example?
I don't know, man.
The things you
it's
see.
every day, man. Every day.
But
it's
you
something
can't
on the
think of
news.
one thing
No, it's too much.
about it. Amazing.
That is what I hear a lot. Now, this is what I really want to get into when it's holding somebody accountable for their actions and what they say and what they do. When it comes to my niggas, and I'm going to say it like that, when it comes to my niggas, they cannot say nothing or hold Trump accountable for what he did or say or has become. I have never, ever heard nothing from a nigga what he has said or did. Now, for people that's really onto the internet, that's in this internet world, that know what's going on, yeah, I know people have heard of a guy named Quincy. He's a blue-haired gamer who got into politics that really likes debating. Now, that man right there, if you ask him what are some things you don't like about Trump, he has a reason. When you go and ask the press secretary She know. When you ask Joy Reese, these people know. But ask a nigga. Just ask my peoples. You see my boy. You see my boy. I'm gonna have to say, see my nigga. What did my nigga know? Let's hear.
Okay.
You know, it's just be.
Has he said one thing
baffling
that's
sometimes.
wrong?
Huh?
Has he said one thing that's wrong, that's not the truth?
I don't know, because I don't pay attention. It's the things that I see and the stuff that he says, I just be like, wow, this is the president talking.
Like what, for example?
I don't know, man.
The things you
it's
see.
every day, man. Every day.
But
it's
you
something
can't
on the
think of
news.
one thing.
No, it's too much.
Amazing. Are you for putting up a big, beautiful wall around the borders?
I don't know, man. I don't.
Now we can go to Wild 'N Out and see this guy being hilarious, funny, no, all the jokes. This is what I be tripping. This is what I be tripping off the most, ladies and gentlemen. Is we don't know what we mad at somebody for. And normally they know exactly what you mad at somebody for. Normally, I promise you, they know. It's no, I think I know what I'm mad at. No, you know. Can't nobody tell me why they mad at Trump. Can't nobody in my community tell me why or how Trump is racist. That'd be killing me. That'd be killing me. And now we got Nikki Haley up here saying that slavery wasn't in the Civil War. Now she's trying to claim her full Indianness. I was like, man, she full Indian. Like, okay, cool, she full Indian. All right, nobody's buying that. Now you got people coming out here saying Nikki Haley's with the Democrat Party, how she's really running her campaign is really Democratic. And so, you know, the niggas is like, oh, I'm not fucking with her. I'm not fucking with a person that look white that all of a sudden is playing a black card. That's racism. But when it's reversed, Fannie Wilson paying a black man more than she paying her fellow other co-workers that are so-called white. Racism. You don't hear the same outrage. It's okay. And somebody got to let me know. But I know that nobody does it. Nobody likes typing out on my show, which is okay. I really plan my show not for the comments aspect. I really plan my show to put on a show for you guys and be somewhat entertaining. Now, I know I got too professional to where the entertaining is not out here like it used to be. I mean, I remember I used to be going all out my way to be hyped, to get you hyped, to get you entertained. But now it's like I can't get y'all entertained when the truth needs to be told, when the facts needs to be discussed, when we need to understand and break down what's going on. And I'm seeing this article right here, and I'm curious what it is. The gatekeepers. Ooh, so we got to get into this.
Welcome to Off Code, the show where we ignore the cultural codes and have real and intriguing conversations regarding the black community and ways we can move forward to human flourishing.
So who's the gatekeepers of the black community?
Hey everyone, welcome to Off Code. I am Monique Duson.
And I am Kevin Briggins, and we are back for another year of Off Code. I'm excited to be back, and I'm excited about this topic that we're going to talk about today, which is the topic of gatekeeping. And we're going to look at what that means across a spectrum of kind of fields and areas. And so I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is for education purposes. And first and foremost, two people look highly educated. They look way smarter than me. Let's put that out there first and foremost for anybody be like, I can't believe he's criticizing these niggas and asking questions or re-explaining something because it doesn't make sense to me. because trust and believe they're going to say something, because I never seen this. I was just strolling as I'm talking to you guys. I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. Because this is the season. I'm going to keep saying this is race hustling season. So anybody and everybody who has feelings is going to find some type of racism to expose that is going on in today's society. So I want to hear this. Gatekeeping, because I heard this gatekeeping, and people heard this gatekeeping during the Cat Williams, Shannon Sharpe, but I've been hearing people talk about gatekeeping. Ice Cube talked about gatekeeping, and there are people that holds the key to a black person's success, that won't open the door, that won't let us get the values of the white man. That's what, so far, I think they mean by gatekeeping. Okay? So far, that's what I believe. But I'm best believe that these people probably did some way more investigation, because I ain't did no investigation. I'm just going off my head and what it sounds like. Especially when you got the title up there. So without a further ado, yes, I want to get into it. I want to see what this is about. Gatekeeping. Let's go.
Yes, who are the gatekeepers in the black community? But before we talk about gatekeepers, let's remind everybody just who Off Code is, what Off Code is, and why we're doing what we do. So first of all, we started Off Code a year and a half ago, right? We started in that are specific to the black community. Things that either...
I think another part of the explanation is the name Off Code is in the black community, this thing about being on code, which means...
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate the fact that you hit on
society, but yet they will play to the plight of poor blacks and use that plight, and knowing the whole time nothing they advocate for actually helps those people. They're just using them, right?
Yeah.
And so that's one of the reasons that this conversation, this double conversation needs to go away, and let's just be real. Let's just be real.
I hear you. One of the things he said was, we don't want to have these conversations in front of white people, and it makes me think about the Cat Williams interview. And so let's get into that, because in the Cat Williams interview, he mentioned that someone brought.
One question already. Why do we not, as a black community, want to have these conversations in front of white folks, so the white people don't know what our concerns is? If the white man don't know what our concerns is, how they gonna help us, or how they gonna stay out the way? Anybody remember when Lion King was out? Black people on TikTok was like, don't go see Lion King, don't go see Color Purple, don't go see this black movie. So then when a black movie fails, why did the movie flop? Because you told the main people that wants to go see the movie, don't go see the movie. And you probably told a group of people that don't even like the movie, go see the movie. So I really want to hear this. Let's get into it. I'm sorry, y'all.
Him in either to read lines or to have a conversation about a script, and he wasn't feeling it. And he said, now here I am in front of all these good white people, and I almost fell out. I was like, yes, because we don't like if we're gonna have a conversation, we need to have this conversation. But I gotta also be real. So now in front of all these good white people, I gotta let you know the truth. Mm-hmm. What were your thoughts about the Cat Williams interview? And I won't even lead it. Go ahead. What was your thoughts on it?
Well, no, we should just have to say the Cat Williams interview, because I think everybody knows what the Cat Williams interview is. But for those who don't, Cat Williams, who's a comedian, went on Club Shay Shay, which is Shannon Sharpe's podcast, and he aired some grievances. He was tired of people saying things about him on that particular podcast, so he wanted to go on to set the record straight, and he set the world on fire. Well, I say the world on fire. I think, I was talking to someone else, a lot of this conversation is contained within the black community. Yes. I don't think a lot of people outside are really tracking what's going on, because this is an internal cultural type fight. I mean, most people outside of the black community probably know who Cat Williams is.
Everybody know who Cat Williams is. Don't nobody know the beef that happens on next Friday? No. Nobody knew about that. Nobody knew about the Bernie Mac situation? No. Let's be honest. We didn't blast that out. That wasn't blasted out because back then it was about trying to make your dollars and get on and put on and be successful without all the drama. Yes, a lot of people kept things in the background, kept stuff off cue. And they did not have cell phones back then. Come on, y'all. Come on. Let's please get deep into this.
There know a lot of people he's calling out, like Kevin Hart, the bigger name comedians. Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer. But
man, Cat Williams been my favorite comedian for years.
You look like Cat Williams would be your favorite comedian.
When he did that thing about poor little Tink Tink, and he said that man with the false legs looked like his stuff looked like some bent paper clips. He said, poor little Tink Tink.
Like I said, you look like Cat Williams would be your favorite.
See, and this is another thing that I don't like about certain podcasts and certain things that go on is they get to edit, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you messed up or say something, it's like, I don't get to see the full real you because you edit something out. Y'all was laughing, had a good time, and you seen that they edited out. I just want to point that out because that's something I don't like doing, and that's one of the small reasons of why I don't go in and edit my videos, because I want you to see the full me from front to beginning. Even if I messed up, even if you seen my flaw, fuck it, I don't care. See my flaw, make fun of it, blast it out, share it, because that means more people are going to come see my flaw and make fun of me and hear what I got to say. Okay, but what I'm really hoping, and they act like they not getting into it, is the conversation of gatekeeper. That's what I want to hear.
And so the people who aren't willing to do those things, they don't get the platform. They don't get. Okay,
they're talking about the dress right now.
And some of the things he says is over the top and exaggerated. You got to kind of pick out what's real and what's not. Because he talked about how you one of the things you get in the perks is you get a light-skinned wife, right? And so now all the pictures are going around, all these comedians' wives, and yes, they all do look like similar type of women. But at the same time, we know men who are well off tend to date those type of women anyway.
It's okay. The other thing that you should have pointed out, and I wish I was there with them to say on that, it's not the fact that he said those type of women. It's the fact that those women don't have nothing going for themselves. Those women don't be in interviews. Those women don't speak highly of their man's career and what they go through. That's more of what he meant about Hollywood gives you this type of figure woman to be around. Now, of course, all women want the best, finest women, but if me and my fine ass woman have a career and we're doing something, I want her speaking. I want her outspoken. I want her to express herself just as much as I'm express myself. Just like y'all two are doing a podcast, I would want me and my woman to do a podcast. I'm not trying to be the very most successful one, then my woman ain't doing nothing. Those women that you seen, and I know some of y'all have seen, have popped up, y'all don't know nothing about these women at all until you really go digging deep into their lives.
Like, it's just, but he's playing on all of those things. So he's making all these accusations saying, like, look, when you make it, when the system, when the man puts you in place, they give you this kind of wife, right? And he's making this argument, this whole thing is fixed and set up by these gatekeepers, and the people who we look as the biggest comedians, the ones who have made it, they're in those positions because they compromise, they do the things that they have to do to get along, to walk the line. And one of those things he talked about, which was something that we talked about in our last episode with Delano Squires about the feminization of the black voice or the black male voice, was that if you're gonna make it and you're gonna get it big, You got to put the dress on. And that resonated because there seems to be a lot of truth to that. And other
Name 3 people that hasn't put on a dress in the black community. And the only reason I'm saying 3, because off my head that I know of, there's only 3. There's only 3 people that I know for a fact that has not put on a dress that I know of. And if they did put on a dress, you know what I'm saying, point it out. And that's Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, and Samuel Jackson.
people have Dave Chappelle told a story about, you know, he was on, I forgot what show he was on, what movie set. And they came in one day and he got in his trailer and there's a dress in there. And he's like, I'm in the wrong trailer. And they're like, no, dang, we got this great idea. He's gonna sneak you out the prison and gonna put you in a dress. I gotta put a dress on, like, be funny. Like, let me do funny, but like, I don't have to be in a dress to be funny. And
everybody knows now about the humiliation of putting a woman in a dress. Everybody knows that those who speak against it gets discredit. But what else about the gatekeepers for the black community don't y'all know? Or are we just gonna stick on the Cat Williams subject? That's what I want to know. Please, do y'all know anything else?
44 million views on Off Code. Y'all like and subscribe and share.
Exactly. But I think it's really interesting that his accusation, which has come out now, I feel like it was a couple years since Dave Chappelle originally started to talk about this, and you know what you do and what you don't do, and putting on that dress and all of that. That, you know, there seems to be this thread, at least between those two, of I need to, you know, be more fit. I need to play a feminine part, right?
Okay. Can I say this? Anybody remember Mr. Rogers? Because Mr. Rogers was telling us way back in the days, don't put on a damn dress. Girl can be a girl, boy can be a boy. Mr. Rogers was telling us. So for Dave Chappelle to be just telling us and stuff like that, because, you know, he was telling us. I mean, we was getting told way back then too. But they not gonna bring it up.
I need to play the part of a woman in order to be successful.
Yep.
So it's like, well, where does that come from, and why is there a need to see black men in a dress?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what drives it, but when you look at all the comedians, there's a collage of screenshots going around. They've all done it.
Yeah.
It's just like this common thing that they're forced to do, and it just makes no sense, you know.
But is that, I wonder if that's the cost of stardom or the cost of success. Industry, I have no idea. I'm not in the industry, but you know, if that's the cost, are we now compromising? Like, is Tyler Perry or Martin or Eddie Murphy, you know, compromising in order to get to that place of fame and stardom? I think Cat Williams would say yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to do a 100% across the board type deal. But I don't think there's any surprise or any revelation that there are gatekeepers within the entertainment industry. Anybody who's ever tried to make it in the industry, so I was around guys who were trying to get record label deals. The most talented artists aren't the ones who get the contracts. I'm just gonna say that.
They have a point. I just want to say that.
I knew some very, very talented guys that had everything you would think you would want in an artist that was promotable, had the look, had the skills, and they're not the ones who get the deal. Somebody else does. And you just don't know what's the deal between the people who are the gatekeepers and who gets in and who doesn't, right? And so in the entertainment industry, that's always been a known thing. I had someone who was an actor, and they pulled out of a role because of a commitment they had made to their church. And they chose to keep that commitment, even though the conflict came up, and it ruined their career.
Wow.
I mean, that was it. And so it was this is one of those things of, yes, there are rules you have to play by. There are things you have to do. And if you're not willing to do those things, then don't try to make it. Right. To that degree, there's some level, because even Cat Williams, we know who he is. He's successful. He has Netflix specials. Right.
Mhm.
But when it comes to the top of the mountain, no, Cat Williams isn't hosting Family Feud. He's not getting his own TV show. He's not in Hollywood. He's not leading a Hollywood blockbuster movie with The Rock. That's just not going to happen. And so, like I said, I don't know how much of it was a revelation of new things, but man, it set the internet on storm. Like I say, the 44 million views, everybody's done a reaction to it. Everybody's talking about it. I can't go through my social media feed without everybody, posting things. I've seen so many of the previous old videos of Joe.
Okay. Question. Do anybody think that gatekeepers are in other things than just the music industry? Are there gatekeepers in sports? Are there gatekeepers in news? The Kaepernick incident, by him getting fired or not getting a job, is that one? Is what else? Don Lennon getting fired off of CNN, Tucker Carlson getting fired. Are those gatekeeper roles of people can't making it? Who else? There's Sanford and Son, I heard, went through their problems and issues. Sinbad. Ooh, Cheryl Swoops. The first 5 years of the WNBA, them women are damn near broke. Okay, and stuff like that. So, are there other gatekeepers out here besides just the Cat Williams industry? I wonder if they're gonna talk about. I wonder if they're even gonna bring this up. Now, this is interesting. And my last question out there to anybody else that's watching: do y'all think Trump is what you would call a gatekeeper? Curious.
That they stole, that he claimed they stole, and then these old videos resurfaced.
Yeah.
Oh wow, he was telling the truth.
Jokes from the 80s.
Yes. The designing women joke. Did you see that one?
Yes, that is crazy.
Yes. Cedric the Entertainer stole a joke from the old TV show Designing Women.
Yes.
I wanted to take a minute to tell you about something really to start a read through
Claudine Gay, which is something else that's been in the news recently.
Yes.
So Claudine Gay is the president, or was the president, of Harvard, one of the most prestigious schools in the United States or in the world. She had been president for 6 good months, so the equivalent in black minutes of about.
Okay, so they really going off in it. That's all they had to say about gatekeeping, basically. So that's a good question. I mean, I'm glad they had that discussion. That is a good question. But like I asked you, are there gatekeepers in other sports? Obviously, we have seen that there are gatekeepers in the entertainment business. Like, you see what you got to do. And this is one of the reasons why I kind of changed my format when it came to this weed industry. Like, man, I love everybody that was with me with the weed, and I wanted to stay with the weed and the music. It was weed music. It was popping. And ladies and gentlemen, when I say I would have continued it, I would have stayed on it, I would have manifest into it way more and try to really be in here rocking with you guys. Like I really want to, but I'm terrified of what so-called music represents. And so therefore, until I get a better understanding of how to use it, so I'm not looked at as a devil worshiper. I'm not trying to get looked at as a devil worshiper, y'all. I'm not gonna bullshit you. And that's why I'm taking a halt on it. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute, let me pump my brakes. Let me pump my brakes. Okay? Now, in other news and other situations, like everything today is either going to be about the war or it's going to be about DeSantis dropping out for us on my radar. Would be on my wall on my feed. Everybody's really into this. Oh yeah, and you know it was football, so you know the Chiefs played the Bills, where the Chiefs won, and Detroit played. I forgot who they played, but Detroit won basically. So you know you always forget who did what, but what did who. And another thing, I really forgot who the Tampa Bay. Detroit Lions played Tampa Bay. I was like, man, you supposed to be the sports guy and you don't know? I'm like, yeah, man, you better know. So yeah, Marvel looks horrible. DC looks horrible. Are y'all really? Or I guess everybody's in the damn near scary movies. Everybody get around me. Let me put it like this. Everybody get around me be into scary movies. And I'm like, I'm not into scary movies because they just like not cool to me. They're dumb to me, to be honest with you. They just, I don't know. Just my opinion. You know, not to bash nobody, but I guess if I had to sit there and chill with a scary movie, I don't know, I'll probably crack jokes. That's why I'm single now, because girls be like, why are you making fun of the movie? Because it was that damn dumb. We supposed to be sitting up here like we scared and stuff. Yeah, everybody is literally covering. I heard it's supposed to have been a It's supposed to have been a debate not too long ago. Either Tuesday, I think Tuesday was supposed to be a debate, so the debate been canceled because Ron DeSantis has dropped out. So now it's in between Nikki Haley and Trump to see who's becoming a runner-up to go against Joe Biden. I'm waiting on somebody to ask one of these three motherfuckers that's running for candidate. Yes, I'm saying it like that. And I want y'all to understand. I'm just curious. When is somebody going to ask them about marijuana, about recreational marijuana in all 50 states? This is what I want to know from my pothead. It does seem like my pothead friends, y'all done got all what y'all want. Well, some of y'all, but you know what I'm saying? Now that we done got medical and recreational in majority of the states. Over half now. Okay, over half. You don't hear the marijuana industry people complaining or bitching about that. It's just like, y'all don't even exist. It's like the government knew how to hurry up and shut y'all up to keep y'all off the ballot. Now, true indeed, y'all are on certain ballots in certain states when it comes to what's going on. If you know, come on now, if your state not medical or recreational, you definitely want to look into what's going on. And I get that. And I'm for that, and I'm with that. Oh,
Recordings just got.
But stories like this. It be stories like this in the marijuana industry that terrifies me to make me think one day, y'all, one damn day, this shit is gonna get taken away from us. And soon, not just like later on, soon than a motherfucker.
Well, it's a problem with hardly any solution. Unlicensed weed shops popping up all over the city.
But if these stores aren't licensed to do business, it begs the question, where are they getting their supply from?
All right, Fox 5's Arthur Chan tagged along with the NYC Sheriff's Office on another bust and is getting some answers.
It may be a new year, but an old problem has the attention of the New York City Sheriff's Department and other law enforcement agencies on this day as its war on illegal weed sales in New York City continues.
This is all flour.
Fox 5 was there exclusively as police took down Jackie's Garden, not quite hidden on the corner where the Jackie Robinson Parkway ends and converges with Bushwick, Jamaica, and Pennsylvania Avenues. Officers blitzed the Cypress Hills location with Sheriff Anthony Miranda overseeing the operation himself. Jackie's Garden was ready for visitors with trap compartments and hiding spots like this bookshelf.
So it's like a bookshelf?
Bookshelf, you wouldn't know. Opens up, it's magnetized. Comes into another room.
Behind the bookshelf, a stash house.
And they got more product in here. You can come in.
Inside, pretty much a catalog of illegal weed, from the flower itself to products that shamelessly target underage consumers and even kids.
Backpack boys.
Not just through their packaging, but also the product itself. These, for instance, are miniature ice cream cones.
If the child ever found this, they wouldn't think twice about eating it. One of these can get someone significantly high. What it would do to a child could cripple them.
And that's if the child only eats one of them. Sheriff Miranda then showed us a night window where sales are made presumably during off hours when another stash house was found.
You found more back there?
In yet another room, in everyday laundry bags, bags and bags of weed, unlabeled. The sheriff explains what customers are actually buying when they're purchasing unregulated weed.
People are not smoking a different quality weed, but they're smoking the chemicals.
Yeah, they don't cover this, y'all.
To these things to make them more potent. That's what makes it more dangerous.
Name a marijuana podcast channel that covers this. Yeah, I cover it. This is why I be like, recreational in what city? Hell, fuck nah. I'm probably one of the only potheads that you will hear out here that would say fuck no to certain states when it comes to getting recreational. Why? Shit like this. Because everybody think about themselves and helping their friends, and there's nothing wrong with helping your friends. I have no problems with helping your friends, y'all. But those motherfuckers out here that's gonna abuse, that's gonna abuse, that don't give a fuck about law, is gonna take over. Now, for something like this, y'all, no bullshit. No bullshit. How many years you think they should get? I'm talking about the whole crew. From the owner, the supervisor, the CEO, the manager, the supervisor, the grower, the cutter, the counter, the person in the back, the cashier. How many years y'all think they should get? Nobody gonna answer that because y'all know, y'all shocked to see something like this. Give them like 3 months. Give them 3 months. You would give them 3 months to a year. I know you. It's marijuana. They ain't killing nobody. They ain't hurting nobody. You mad that you get overtaxed by the government, and then somebody out here is taking from you and supplying you with stuff that's not even legal, that you can get in trouble, that you can go to jail, that you can wastefully waste time with the police for, because they're not gonna get a real charge. This in New York City, and you know this is probably all over the place. Stop playing with me. Shout out to Rumble and everybody out here. I just want to give y'all a shout out Y'all looking thick out there, looking beautiful. Just please show me some love if you can out there, Rumble. Please. Highly appreciate it. But think about this, man. And I know y'all don't, because y'all got y'all own things to worry about. And I be like, I don't want to cover these stories because people are going to look at me like, dude, you're smoking a blunt right now. And you up here talking about taking recreational from a state? Yes, certain states need not to be recreational because of bullshit like this. Until we can get something like this under control, because ain't no telling what else they got going on. They might be nice and just show us just the weed, but you know there's other things. Okay. Let's hear a little bit more.
And in addition to the drugs on the table, cash. By an early count, upwards of $100,000 would be seized at this location, a combination of weed products, and cash. On the spot, 3 individuals were arrested. As the city continues its crackdown, we ask the question, where is all this illegal weed coming from? And on this raid, we started getting some answers.
There are multiple sources of the unlicensed and illegal stuff that's coming into New York City.
As we take a closer look, much of the products omit their origins, but Sheriff Miranda knows where to look.
This doesn't even say where it's from, right?
Right, so you flip it on the QR code side and you can track it here. It should be able to give you information about where its origins are from.
Just about all of the products that we saw have QR codes, but many of the products Fox 5 scanned went to dead-end sites. A sign, Miranda says, that the illegal shops want to make their products look official when they really are not.
We see labels, some of them may be legitimate. We also found false labels, so they're manufacturing their own labels now.
And here's evidence supporting his theory: bags of weed and ready-to-go packaging on site with labels, which can be assembled at the store, out of sight. Digging further, we ask who is supplying all this illegal weed into New York City.
The majority of the illegal weed coming into New York State is actually legally manufactured in other states.
Damian Fagan is with the state's Office of Cannabis Management.
Yeah, the problem is, and y'all gonna be mad at me once again, is saying this has been a problem way before y'all went recreational. It's just because y'all went recreational, it was a little bit more, people were a little bit more vulgar with their actions. Like he said, remember that this was at 3:33. If y'all remember in the beginning, this is what I mean by vulgar.
Licensed to do business. It begs the question: where are they getting their?
Getting some answers.
It may be a new year, but an old problem has the attention of the New York City Sheriff's Department and other law enforcement agencies on this day, as its war on illegal, not quite hidden on the corner where the...
Not quite hidden, but on a, like I said, being vulgar.
Jackie Robinson Parkway.
Illegal. How can you be that fucking... I'm shocked and I'm curious, and y'all not curious with me. Y'all not that damn curious. Y'all don't care. Understandable. Y'all don't care. I haven't built up the crew that would care. Like what the fuck would make you get on a corner broadcasting marijuana this loud to be illegal?
Ends.
Way clearer. Y'all see that they on the corner popping illegally. That's the part that I'm really trying to grasp and get a hold on, and want y'all to think about too. Y'all are illegal. You're not even supposed to be up and running. For y'all to broadcast pre-rolls, carts, dispensary, disposable, most likely. Disposable flour, concentrates, and edibles. Make it make sense. And they on the corner of a McDonald's shop too. That look like a McDonald's shop at the end. I'm sorry. Hold on, let me blow it up for you guys so y'all can see. Bam. That look like a McDonald's shop on the corner. Now this is New York. I did what in Oklahoma. This is really, really, really going bad down in not Arizona, but Oregon is really bad.
With the state's Office of Cannabis Management, which says more than $57 million of illegal cannabis was seized in New York last year, mostly coming from states that legalized but have seen their growing outpace heavily consumer demand.
California, Michigan, now Maine, there are a lot of growers that, just like our state, may not have, enough available access to legal stores in their own state.
From there, Fagan says it's economics that drives all of that product to us.
The price for a pound of legal cannabis has dropped from $1,500 to $200. When they only can sell their pound for $200 at a legal shop in Michigan, but $2,000 in New York State, that's the supply and demand that is, really bringing a lot of that product to New York.
Whether it's California, Maine, or Michigan, clearly.
You know what? That is a 100% fucking true. All these places out here that people growing weed and stuff like that, but there's so many people that can't get access to the weed, and there's a lot of people that don't trust dispensaries. I want to discuss with my cousin and them and see how can I get deeper into the stories of letting y'all know. But the main thing that bothers me, that worries me, is all dispensary tastes the same. You do not have no different nothing about a dispensary that kind of bothers me. It's like when you go to a grocery store and you get a product out of a store. Things change when you go to different places, but not the dispensary. All dispensary is the same. That kind of bothers me. I be a little curious about that stuff. I be wondering, but maybe I be wrong. Just maybe.
Illegal weed is coming into the New York City market, and the key question now is how to stop that flow at a time when it seems there are stores in just about every neighborhood in New York City. For the Office of Cannabis Management, the solution is in recent changes to the law that include how landlords are now held accountable for renting to tenants selling illegal weed. The first operation to be padlocked under the new law was in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn in December.
We are going to shut the property down. We are going to levy, up to $10,000 a day against these landlords for continuing to push illicit product into our communities.
And for the Sheriff's Department, its ask is for legislators to allow them to use the same law on their raids, a joint effort to root out and dry up commercial retail operations for illegal sellers.
I think in Oklahoma, they resold the building to legal, and used the money to actually refund themselves back into their community, back into the police force. That's what they did out there. But come on, man. And the reason that I stay into this, even though I go a lot more into political and things like that, but I do keep my marijuana laws and news around, is because I'm never gonna forget that day that my dude on his podcast, which he got a for audience. he got a beautiful audience, and he was mad that he can't ship his weed to his sister and stuff. And I was thinking of it, and I was like, man, I'm sorry, but people gonna abuse it. You know what I'm saying? You just heard that $57 million worth of marijuana products they had stored up in there, and they were trying to move that shit illegally. Now, I understand the hustle, I understand the streets and how to get at it. But when you trying to do it like that, like damn, my boy. I think I just wouldn't broadcast it so loudly like that. You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna get caught, I was trying to be low key as possible. I hope that people that watch my show understand that smoking weed and seeing what we see, because y'all don't get to, I don't get to see nothing that I do in a marijuana group like this. Now you do see rap people, you see people that do smoke weed like Joe Rogan, and they get to talk about the weirdness and cool things like that, which is okay. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? That kind of helps me with my little small contents of wondering about certain things. But for just, like, I am strictly, as you see, for the marijuana community, and I would do anything to help us grow. But I also want to think about the criminals and slowing that industry down as we grow, because as we grow, you don't want to take no criminals with you, because we're gonna look bad. Now I don't know what this is about, but this, just from the video I was looking while it was behind scenes, it was looking interesting, so I had to go into it, y'all. Let's get into it. I watched this Cannabis Legal News. Very good. This was like the first thing I was like, okay, so maybe I can get into some cannabis news, and maybe there are news out there. And then when I actually started putting up like news, I was like, damn, there actually is news out here. There's not always news every day, but there's like always news once a week.
What's going to happen in your state when cannabis is moved from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 under federal law? Hi, I'm Tom Howard, a cannabis lawyer and your guide through this labyrinth of cannabis legalization. Today, we are going to be tackling a topic that's as twisty as a fancy hand-blown pipe. Yes, my friends, we're talking about trigger laws. Let's get right into it.
First off, what's a trigger law? They're state-level legal mechanisms that respond to federal changes.
In our case, those concerning our dear friend, cannabis.
Most of them have to do with abortion or other hot-button issues.
But for cannabis, the Uniform Controlled Substances Act controls.
All states except 2, Vermont and New Hampshire, have adopted one of the 3 versions of the Uniform Controlled Substances Act from 1970,
1990,
or 1994.
Depending on the version of the Uniform Controlled Substances Act,
Uniform CSA for short. Revising a drug schedule occurs in 3 ways.
Automatic rescheduling,
administrative rulemaking,
or, in other states, by new legislation.
This video will explain the main 3 differences between the versions of the Uniform CSA and give you guidance on how to find out what will happen in your state when the feds move cannabis from the no fun, no research zone of Schedule 1 to the all uses medical use defense zone of Schedule 3 under the federal.
Boy, I know some niggas gonna be starting to smoke on a damn bus. People gonna be smoking oh, it's a Tylenol? It's a Tylenol? Yo, G. That's how you gonna look at it. That's how some people gonna look at it. That's how some people are definitely gonna look at it, bros. Hopefully maybe not you. Hopefully maybe not me. But somebody is going to tell a bus driver one day, hey man, this shit get rid of a headache. I do not have no Tylenols. I got a bad headache. And they going to puff. You going to puff. We going to puff. And you going to puff together. Oh. Maybe not the strong of flower, but people are already sneaking cartridges and hitting them on buses now. But really, really going to start hitting them on buses in a few seconds, I guarantee.
Cox Fiber powers one of the most connected stadiums in the world. On the
I always want to buy bullshit with my ladies and gentlemen.
That so many are operating illegally, and because they lack oversight, they don't have to worry about quality control or safety, potentially putting customers at risk.
All right, in this week's episode of Street Soldiers, Lisa Evers takes a closer look as state officials attempt to weed out the bad apples.
New York State legalized adult use cannabis on March 31st, 20.
Wait. Time out. That's not cool. That's not cool. That's not cool.
2021. Nearly 3 years later, there are less than 50 licensed dispensaries throughout the entire state. Hundreds of illegal smoke shops have popped up seemingly everywhere to meet the demand. Now, local and state officials are considering ways to shut down the illegal vendors and open more licensed dispensaries.
This is the sign you see in the window of a legal state licensed dispensary. It's a guarantee of safe, quality products and that the money you spend is going to community projects, social equity causes, and state tax coffers. New York State Office of Cannabis Management Executive Director Chris Alexander says he is well aware of the criticism of a slow rollout and too few dispensaries. He defends their work by saying they have built a farm-to-consumer industry from scratch. Even with just several dozen dispensaries open, Alexander says they generated $150 million in revenue in 2023. He's looking forward to hitting the 50 dispensaries mark and says that there are more than 400 new licensees on their way.
We are really excited for those businesses to open. We think we'll have a good chunk of them in the first.
I'm just going to put this out. Chris Anderson. People need to check him out. New York got a way to show the difference between a fake dispensary and a real dispensary. I think his method right here, if it really works and it shows a big difference, I think this is a step in the right direction right here. I think we definitely need to spread this amongst the weed community and let them know, like, hey, to weed out the bad, especially in states that are having trouble. I can name a few. I can think of a few that needs to, Chris, like I said, we need to really think about Chris Anderson. Remember him. Remember this face, because he got a real good plan. And then he's showing you. Always my thing about, it's like, the main three things about my channel is taxes, marijuana, and where the hell is going. And what we do and don't want to pay for. I need to put that in my bios. But that is the main thing about my channel that I am trying to get across and discover just for you. Where the taxpayer money's going. Show us. Let us know. That give us more incentive to do business with you for those who are starting to learn more about taxes. And I think the younger generation and people are starting to wake up to taxes and where your taxpayer money. I think Joe Biden definitely woke people up to where the hell their taxpayer money and what people do and do not want to pay for. And sadly, he He did it, but I'm happy that people are waking up to see where taxpayer money and want to know and do a lot more investigating. Not waiting until they old and then try to tell the youth, hey man, be paying attention to how you pay your taxes and where your taxpayer money go. Because you don't, it's like the youth, we got to make a method and make somewhere to teach the youth and make it cool, make it fun. So the youth be like, hey man, you got to know where your taxpayer money, because the less that you pay for things that you don't want and it goes into stuff that you do know you want it for, it's a better outcome. You rest better. You rest better knowing that my money went into some weed, and now that I know that it went into the school district, and so the school district, I should be able to go to that school and see nothing wrong with that school, because you know how a pothead smokes weed, and you know how a school needs help. So that too should definitely always come together as one, and there should be no more poor schools that have that method. We should be able to look up in states that's been doing this for a while, states that runs this method right here. And I'm finna learn how to investigate and figure it out. I'm finna learn how to investigate and figure it out for everybody that's doing it, and find out where the marijuana tax weed is going. And when you find that out, and I get to know that, and I get to showing y'all, yes. For those who's not doing it, we're going to hold them accountable for, and then we're going to start bringing them up here. And like, hey, we might have to call them out. You know what I mean? I just want y'all to get a good understanding of what I'm these are the three things that I want to look for this year, going into this year.
First half of this year, and then the new licenses that we hand out next month and the month following, those again should largely be operational before the close of the year.
The Housing Works Cannabis Company was the first licensed dispensary to open in New York City in late December 2022. Sasha Nugent, Director of Retail Operations, says the sales associates, called bud tenders, often get to know the regular customers, and that safety and quality control are key. They have to file detailed reports to the state on what was sold. They also offer a delivery service.
100% of everything that you purchase here at Housing Works Cannabis Co. go directly back into our community, and those are people living with and affected by HIV, AIDS, and homelessness. They're New Yorkers who are marginalized, people who need housing, job training, and re-entry programs.
Law enforcement and local leaders estimate the number of illegal smoke shops in New York City at around 2,000 or more. Our Fox 5 camera was the only one along in December of 2022 as New York City Sheriff Anthony Miranda led a joint multi-agency task force, including inspectors from the Office of Cannabis Management, to shut down illegal shops and confiscate unregulated marijuana products. Currently, they have to initiate a court case to get it padlocked. Governor Kathy Hochul is pushing to change the laws and speed it up.
I think the biggest thing, for us is finding a way to close these shops down quicker.
New York Post reporter Anita Boley has been covering the issue and says that
shut them down quicker, higher sentences. That's what this is what you got to understand. We got to bring in an industry. I love this industry. I'm for this industry. I'm finna fire up. I'm finna smoke to this industry. But we have to give out hard, like you said, anything. You say anything under a pound, we not gonna trip. You get your little misdemeanors, y'all. Be reasonable. I'm trying to be reasonable, and y'all gotta think reasonable too. Anything under a pound, you get your little misdemeanors. You get your little slap on the wrist. All right. Then you do it more than one time or getting caught with a bunch of misdemeanors, and then you turn it into something, whatever, how that goes. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm just saying. for people that got illegal whole. What was the last video we seen? 57 when it's okay, $57 million, bruh. When that person get caught, everybody that got caught up in there, how long should they sentences be? What are you gonna let people know? Like, hey man, did you hear about what you call that got shut down? He got blase years. For what? Because he was running a whole industry. I think that's organized crime. If I'm not mistaken, that is organized crime. So what are we talking? What are we doing? What are we gonna give them? No, not what are we gonna give them. What should we expect? Is that better? Do that sound better? That sounds a little bit better. Sounds a little bit better. What should we expect? What should we expect from this? What is our outcome? What is our input? What is our results? Did you expect for somebody that had a whole building illegal $57 million worth of product? Okay. I'm not gonna give out my answer on this one because I'm gonna let y'all think about it. Like, maybe I got a point, maybe I don't. Nobody never tells me, so maybe I got a point.
The need for change is clear.
It'll be really important going forward for these enforcement rules to give the OCM and law enforcement the jurisdiction to actually close them down, because the problem that we're seeing currently is that they're being shut and then they're opening 2 days later.
We have much more for you on this important issue on the next episode of Street Soldiers. I hope you'll join us Friday night right after the 10 o'clock news. I'm Lisa Evers, Fox 5 News.
This problem is a real problem. It's not like it's a bad problem. It's only a bad problem when you have organized crime to it. Some that nobody, you and me, wasn't thinking about. Like I said, most of the audience don't give a fuck. They just want to grow their weed in their own house, go to work, come home, pay their bills. And I understand that, and I get that. And I have no problem with people feeling like that. But, hey, you can't say that this is not happening. If you can't say, and I'm showing that it's not happening, we as young entrepreneurs or marijuana entrepreneurs, we need to come together and stick together with some of these cases and be like, okay, man, do this. Because, and then, hold on, y'all, hold on. Because when you are trying to invest in something, when you're looking for an investment plan real quick, some of these shops out here come with everything that you need. All you gotta do is come with your money. Then you get all the paperwork and the building. Yes. I know y'all wasn't thinking like that. I know. But I do. I'll be like, hold on, what, who, what, when, where, what? I need to know. Oh, wow. Okay. This is an unusual story. I don't even know how to present this to you. I don't know how to present this to nobody. But We gonna see. We gonna check this out. We gonna check this out together. Oh. This is one of them rare stories that shouldn't happen, but do happens, and I think I should cover it. I think it's my duty to cover it.
May surprise you that legal marijuana proponents have been telling us is safe may actually carry real threats to our children, Jim.
That's right, Wale. Thank you, first of all. I'm a native Californian, born and raised here. And as you mentioned, I've covered news in every state in the country and every continent except Antarctica. Now I've come home, hoping to make an impact here in Southern California. My first story for Team 10 is about the hidden dangers of marijuana, especially for our kids, from the very young to adolescents. Californians love their legal marijuana. The highest number of cannabis users in the country live in this state. Nearly 7 million people, according to Statista, an internet data company. But medical experts.
My name is Dr. Ronit Lev. I'm an emergency and addiction physician.
Dr. Natalie Lau. I am a child abuse pediatrician.
And parents with seriously impacted children.
Hi, my name is Amina Sarir, and my daughter accidentally ingested some cereals that were edibles that nearly killed her.
All have one answer when asked point blank. Does legal marijuana mean safe marijuana? It seems to be a surprise to people, right?
Marijuana is a very dangerous drug for children.
So all those sayings about how marijuana is not addictive, that's wrong.
That's absolutely wrong. Marijuana is addictive. If you look at youth in treatment centers, the #1 drug that they're in addiction treatment for is cannabis.
Amina Sarir is mother of 2 beautiful daughters, but she says she nearly lost one to a marijuana-laced cereal that looks just like the harmless store shelf brand, except Apple Jacks is spelled with a Z. And according to the lab test obtained by Team 10, it contains THC, the active ingredient in marijuana.
I kind of figured people would say this is some
Amina
bullshit.
is a swim teacher and routinely takes snacks to practice. And while she doesn't use marijuana in any form, someone, she still doesn't know who, added the Apple Jacks package to the snack basket. It took only a few minutes for her daughter to complain of drowsiness and stomach pain. Soon,
Some people, ladies and gentlemen, I understand how most people think about marijuana, but you should have known sooner or later one of these cases like this was gonna happen. You should have known. Like flat out. I don't know if y'all didn't think it was ever gonna happen. Like, oh no, it's never gonna happen. Like, yeah, somebody's gonna do something wrong. And one of these cases like this is gonna happen sooner or later. Stop playing with me. I'm sorry if you thought no. I'm really apologizing. If you truly thought no, I'm sorry. But come on, man. You knew one of the day. You knew. Y'all gonna make me make that face. You knew this was gonna happen.
Amina was on the phone to the Poison Center, who sent mom and daughter directly to the hospital, where little Maya was admitted. And according to the pathology report, she slipped into a 30-hour coma. These are pictures of her in the ICU. That must have been terrible for you.
That was the biggest fear of our lives. I thought I have lost her. Good job. Open your eyes, Mama.
Amina says the effect of the THC, the active ingredient in the marijuana that the lab found in the cereal, has been long-lasting.
It was hallucination. My daughter had her eyes wide open and she could see bugs and snakes and spiders and had terrifying moments throughout the day where she didn't know if she was in the reality or in her dreams.
The makers of the THC edible Apple Jacks, nor the Retail Association representing legal marijuana distributors, responded to ABC 10 News inquiries. The 2 nationally renowned San Diego doctors studying the issue say since legalized marijuana came on the market, cannabis poisoning has skyrocketed. 200 hospital cases in 2023 alone.
Every single shift, multiple times a shift, I see.
Do anybody believe that? Let's rewind that again. Hold on. Yes, I'm not gonna lie to you. That shocked me too. Anybody else? When y'all heard that, I know y'all was like, "Bull, that's bullshit." But yeah, that shocked me too. That shocked me too.
Doctors studying the issue say since legalized marijuana came on the market, cannabis poisoning has skyrocketed. 200 hospital cases in 2023 alone.
Every single shift, multiple times a shift, I see marijuana-associated problems. And the reason for that is potency. That 70s marijuana doesn't even exist anymore. And quantity, the number of people exposed.
So legal doesn't mean safe.
Legal does not mean safe.
In October, 4 children at Escondido's North Broadway Elementary School were sent to the hospital after eating snacks believed to be laced with marijuana. The district telling parents in an email home, quote, edible cannabis products are easily mistaken for regular candy or food. Cannabis food products, such as gummy bears, lollipops, or brownies, are designed and packaged to look like popular brands of regular candy or baked goods. And in Los Angeles, paramedics were called to transport 8 children to the hospital after suspected gummies were consumed on campus last spring.
So it appears it just probably is medical marijuana, but we cannot say that for certain until the police does a complete investigation.
We were seeing a handful of kids a year, 3 to 5 children in an entire year having cannabis or marijuana poisoning. Now we're seeing hundreds of children a year test positive for marijuana, come into the hospital very sick.
Dr. Laub, a renowned expert on marijuana in children, whose work has been published in medical journals, says it can take as little as 5 milligrams to hospitalize a toddler. In fact, she says half of the kids coming to her hospital, Rady's in San Diego, after ingesting marijuana are admitted, and 10% are sent to the ICU.
We start to see them having trouble breathing. We start to see them having trouble with their electrolytes, so they start to vomit so much. So cannabis is very, very, very dangerous for children. Cannabis makes children very sick. Cannabis can cause children to die, even at small doses.
One little 5-year-old girl got into her mother's gummy bears. Her eyes were rolling in her head, and she was admitted to the ICU, waiting a day or two to detox before she could home. And her mom didn't intend that. She was mortified, appropriately embarrassed.
Doctors witnessing the effects of marijuana poisoning in children are now attempting to change the narrative that marijuana is safe in an effort to fight the marketing that leaves the impression the drug is just candy with a kick.
The drug is not being kept locked away. The drug is not in a child-proof container. The drug is left in a kitchen junk drawer. It's left in a bedside table. It's left on a windowsill. It's left where children can get it.
We should ask ourselves that question. Is this really meant for adults that are over the age of 18 or 21, or is it targeting younger children? Because that's when it becomes really scary.
Hard lessons, changing what the medical world now thinks about the safety of marijuana. It's only fair to point out that these doctors and parents are not against the legal use of marijuana by adults, even recreationally. Their concern is with underage use on accident or by design.
Keeping underage kids off social media. Keep their ass from smoking that shit. Yes, I do. I feel it. I understand. I'm for it. If y'all don't get to understand, you know what I'm saying? I have seen my dog off concentrate, and my dog be down for 3 days, not fucking with me. Not fucking with food, not fucking with water, just high as fuck. Oops, my bad. Now y'all looking at me like, oh, nigga, you abusing the dog. Like, no. I was dabbed out smoking. Come on now. Dabbed out smoking. Just like y'all, anybody else, dabbed out smoking. Fell asleep on the couch. He can't, not knowing. He was a little pup too. That's what fucked him up for the 3 days. But this story right here, I I understand and I get. My bad. I get it. And if you don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Kid took it, was hallucinating because the kid was so high. No telling if the heart was beating fast. You know how people remember how you was when you first got high, quit playing with Mike. Quit playing with me, Mike. Oh, shit. My nigga had a big thunder knife. Y'all, look, I like covering this new shit today. Today been interesting. My boy, what you say? Boy, let me rewind this for y'all real quick. Yeah, look, y'all not even saying. Oh, my bad. Y'all like, what? Like, dumbass nigga, do you know that you messed up? Okay, look at this. Look at this. This is funny. Y'all, you see how big this knife is? That's what I want y'all to look at. Look how big this freaking knife is. Let me blow it up for y'all real bad. Bam! That is like an army knife. I mean, from here. It could be a kitchen knife, you know what I'm saying? It's not like it's in clear 4K resolution where we can see, but man, that motherfucker is huge. Period. That motherfucker is fat. The hell? He was trying to take him out. That's what I'm saying. Let's get into
this week. A serial stabber in Queens caught.
I feel safer, and I hope he might get the help that he needed.
Plus, 2 NYPD officers shot on duty.
This was a horrific incident.
And a look at the flow of illegal weed in the city.
Opens up, it's magnetized. Comes into another room. And they got more product in here.
Right now, Fox 5's Crime in the City. Here are some of the crimes across the 5 boroughs. We begin this week in Queens, where an all-out manhunt for a serial stabber comes to an end.
Well, the man accused of going on a stabbing spree across parts of Queens is now facing attempted murder charges.
Yeah, that suspect arrested after a citywide manhunt. Ashley Rodriguez is live in Rochdale, Queens with more on this investigation. Ashley, what's the very latest?
Yeah, police combed the city for 22 hours yesterday. Finally, they found their suspect. They actually used surveillance video from a home in this neighborhood to lead them to his house, which is right behind me. And you can see that's a nice
She said, you see, it's a nice home.
house. He had a job at a hospital. He has no criminal history, no mental health history. Well, that all changed today.
No fruit ninja, huh?
Why would you stab those people? Police arrested 27-year-old German.
Dang. Hey, I some of them journalists. Why you stab them people? It make me want to go find that one where they was talking to Joe Biden's son. Dude was asking Joe Biden's son, you like smoking crack? What time do you like smoking crack? And where do you like smoking crack? It's just all type of crack questions.
Jermaine Reguer at his home at 133-19 160th Street, 22 hours after calling a citywide manhunt for the man they say used a hunting knife to randomly stab 5 innocent New Yorkers overnight.
I told you, I said military, I should have said hunting, but y'all know what the heck I meant. I knew it. That boy was on a mission. Look, I don't know. Let me blow this up. Let me blow this up big as possible for you. It's already blown up. Look, you normally cannot see people's facial expressions when it's covered up, but you can see the anger in this dude's facial expression, the eyebrows tinted down, the nose furling upward, the face. You see that. That is visual. That is not playing around.
Nine days.
It didn't appear as though he was looking to stop anytime soon. And thank God we have no one that lost his or her life because of this incident. But it did send real fears throughout our entire city.
Mayor Eric Adams says it was good old-fashioned police work that led to his arrest. NYPD used all hands on deck, assigning around 75 detectives to the case, interviewing residents and business owners, flooding the transit system, and posting flyers.
I was feeling so scared.
Residents in South Queens say they feel relief knowing he's in.
Hold on. Stop. You think that's true? You think anybody was really scared? You know why I don't believe that story right there, that part about the scared? That dude, he wasn't even in there for 3 seconds.
Residents and business owners flooding the transit system and posting flyers.
I was feeling so scared.
Residents.
2 seconds. That was the only person you got that was going to say they were scared. Come on, man. Nobody was scared.
In South Queens say they feel relief knowing he's in custody.
I'm happy that the police do their job. I feel safer, and I hope he might get the help that he needed.
Police say Reguer made it easier for them. Surveillance video shows him wearing a lanyard connected to his job as a greeter at Woodhull Hospital.
Woo, not you had it on. Come on, man. He said whatever made him do that. I'm gonna put that up there with you, because me and you both want to know that. We don't know. Come on, man. Oh my God. I'm just pausing right here because of the ID part, y'all. And I'm shocked. Just like, okay. I think I've been shocked twice so far today in this episode. This has been a very good episode for me. For real.
A job that requires a background check, but the alleged serial stabber had no criminal history.
He will never return to Woodhull again.
Police still have no motive for the stabbing spree that began January 8th. They say when he stabbed a 61-year-old man in the back, he was laughing. And when he ran up on a 34-year-old woman as she got off the bus, stabbing her in the back, she says he appeared to be talking to himself, speaking gibberish. Then Wednesday morning, he stabbed 3 men within minutes of each other.
Job well done by the police department, the detectives, and job well done by New Yorkers.
Now, the suspect faces multiple charges, including attempted murder, attempted assault, and criminal possession of a weapon. The residents here very thankful to the NYPD tonight.
Then in Brooklyn, a man is fatally shot.
We want to say we want to really say that he was crazy or he was delusional or something like that because, you know, I'm saying gibber. But that's because nobody understands. We can't say that he was crazy if he had a good job and was paying bills. So there's no way that we can sit up here and straight say that he was crazy. I'm not going for that. I'm not. And if you are, I think I've been on this 2 thumbs up things lately, but 2 thumbs up for you. If you going for that, 2 thumbs up for you. I'm not going for that. I'm not. I refuse to go for that. Yeah. Okay. You can question that. What you say on the other one? I can barely read that from this far. Hold on. Let's go back to this one. That Denzel Washington movie. What's the Denzel Washington movie? Come on. Remember where he needed surgery for his kid. So you know what I'm saying? Hey. So look. Hard times. But he worked there. You got a job there. That what don't make sense is the random people. If the people knew him or they had some connection to him, okay. Even that makes sense of surgery something if he took the money. But he didn't even take the money. Like, he didn't even take the money. He just, stab. You know everybody gonna say, I didn't know that nigga. I didn't know that fool. Crazy dude. You know everybody gonna say crazy. Remember what they said in the thing, crazy. Hey, I can't knock your theories. It was just from the short story of what we heard, ladies and gentlemen, it's just like, got a good job, got a home. He stabbed, what, two to three people. I mean, I'm not going to go back and really research it. Now, maybe he was on medication and he got off his medication. That's about the only one that you was on medication and you really took a break because you couldn't afford it. And I understand being in New York because of what's going on. But let's get into this next one. I get it.
Shot on the subway, and his killer is still at large.
The NYPD is looking for gunmen who fatally shot a 45-year-old man on the subway in Brooklyn.
Fox 5's Brayla Tomasetti has the latest from the scene in Crown Heights. And Brayla, it sounds like they're still looking for this individual. Is that right?
Yeah, that is correct, Rosanna and Dan. Good morning to both of you. And this is still very early on in the investigation.
Gone on
I
that
should mention,
scooter.
police are currently investigating whether this was a dispute turned violent, a robbery attempt, or something else. They are trying to track down the gunman responsible, of course, for pulling the trigger. Police are investigating a subway shooting in Crown Heights that left a 45-year-old man dead. Officers responded to a 911 call for a man shot on board a 3 train at around 8:15 last night as it pulled into the Franklin Avenue subway station. When police arrived on scene, they found Richard Henderson shot multiple times in the back and shoulder. Citizen app video shows crime scene tape and a heavy NYPD presence underground. During the aftermath, medics rushed Henderson to Kings County Hospital, where he died from his injuries. The gunman took off.
2 weeks ago, I saw somebody
You can't even hear him on one. 2, man, knowing that there's crime like that in them subways in New York, and it's so crowded with all them millions and tens of millions of Rocks fans, all them people up there, you know it's about time that we sit up here and say, like, yes, y'all need some, it's got to be ways to put cameras. They're not that deep up on the ground to where they can't put sufficient cameras. Like, stop playing.
In late November, a 17-year-old boy and 52-year-old man were injured when a shooter opened fire on a rush-hour C train in nearby Bedford-Stuyvesant. Police say that shooting was triggered by an argument between the 17-year-old victim and the gunman on the moving train as it approached the Ralph Avenue station. 20-year-old Alexander Villafana was arrested and charged with attempted murder and assault following the shooting. The victims, who were shot in the hand and ankle, were both expected to make full recoveries. According to the NYPD's year-end crime statistics, transit crime decreased by 8.2% this December compared to last, and by 2.6% for the full year. But do New Yorkers actually feel safe riding the subway? It all depends on who you ask.
I don't know what to think about it because we ain't safe. That means we ain't safe down here too.
Staying in Brooklyn.
Hold on. We not safe down here either. So your mayor know that y'all not safe down there. Y'all admitting that y'all not safe down there. They're doing reports about they're not safe down there. But your mayor is spending what, $5 billion on illegal immigrants, making sure they have somewhere to stay, and putting up tent cities somewhere. I bet you he don't. I guarantee he do not care about voting at all. He don't care about voting. And that's why it's dangerous down there, because you don't care about voting and somebody that want to clean up the crime for real in that city.
Hey, that means we ain't safe down here too.
Staying in Brooklyn, a domestic violence call ends with gunfire and 2 veteran cops hurt.
Police say after the officers arrived on scene, the suspect grabbed one of their guns and started shooting. The officers being treated tonight at Kings County Hospital in East Flatbush. That's where Kendall Green joins us now live with the latest tonight. Kendall.
Officials say they're grateful this shooting wasn't much worse since the suspect in custody has 6 prior arrests involving 2 domestic violence incidents and 1 attempted murder conviction back in 2004. A massive police presence along Bergen Street in Brownsville, Brooklyn, after 2 veteran NYPD officers were shot just after 3 Tuesday afternoon. A shooting Mayor Eric Adams could only characterize as horrific.
This was a horrific incident that, because of their actions, a dangerous person is apprehended, and we have 2 officers that will be going home to their families.
Miss Fuller, a neighbor, saw and heard the commotion that sent her and her kids into an instant panic.
The guy comes and he shuts off 2 rounds, and then he lets off 4 rounds. And it's just like blood everywhere, and I have little kids, and I could barely make it inside my building with the kids. So I'm wondering what is going on here.
The officers were responding to a 911 call from a mother with a head injury, telling police she was being physically assaulted by her son. 39-year-old Melvin Butler. Before that shooting, Ms. Fuller recalls hearing an aggressive exchange.
Did we hear that right? Did we hear that right? Did we hear that right? Assaulted from the Sun.
.39-year-old Melvin Butler. Before that shooting, Ms. Fuller recalls hearing an aggressive exchange of words.
I didn't hear too much with the argument. Just I heard one thing, and he said, "Remember what you said to me yesterday?" I don't know too much after that. It's just what you remember what you
say. I'm not going to jail.
Yes, he's not going back.
Police say when officers attempted to arrest Butler, he grabbed one of the officers' gun, shooting one in his left hand, the other in the left thigh. The violent encounter caught on officers' body cams.
From what I viewed, it's immediately as they're struggling, they're going to the ground, and then you hear an officer state, "He has my gun," and then shots are fired.
We had a very violent and dangerous person that has a long record of violence, attempted to harm.
The way he just described it sounded like we had a little John Wick. That nigga got out 2 shots before he hit that ground. Pow, pow. Ooh-wee.
Our police officers, but they responded accordingly.
Butler's history with police includes 6 prior arrests, most recently back in February last year for domestic violence, followed by another in January. Authorities report Butler's more serious crime 20 years ago for attempted murder, where he spent 15 years in state custody.
We're going to follow this case and make sure that this individual who shot 2 New York City police officers stays behind bars.
Both officers are being treated at Kings County Hospital recovering from their wounds, while Butler himself was shot multiple times, listed in critical but stable condition at Brookdale Hospital.
Critical but stable.
Over in Manhattan, new.
You know what? We ain't gonna even keep it over here with these guys. These guys is bloody. It's going down. It's going down. It's going down. Let me see if I can find one more good marijuana store before we get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And nope. Let's see what's just on the. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. Well, everybody want to talk about the Santas dropping out. You know what? I did say Trump is winning, huh?
Recordings just got better.
So I think I should go out on a Trump note. Yeah, there.
Hampshire Nikki Haley has made an unholy alliance with rhinos, never Trumpers. Americans for No Prosperity. Did you ever hear of Americans for No Prosperity? I added the word no because that's essentially what they do. I was going to say America's for China prosperity, but they're no good. They're no good. They're headed up by bad people. Globalists, radical left communists to get liberals and Biden supporters to vote for her in the Republican Party. Did you see who's voting for her? Democrats are voting. What kind of a governor do you have in this state where they allow Democrats, they've already got 5,000 signed up. But that's peanuts compared to the numbers we get. So. No, but they've already got, you had to be signed up by like October 7th. But think of it, Democrats to vote in the Republican primary. What kind of a governor would allow that? He is the most overrated governor, but not really, because most people don't think he's a very good governor, so he's not that. But you'll end up getting rid of him pretty quick. The people behind Nikki are pro-amnesty. Do you like that? Pro-China, pro-open borders, pro-war, pro-deep state, and they're pro-Biden. Did you see where 50% of the people that voted for her in Iowa are going to vote for Biden? In other words, they're Democrats. They're voting. Think of it. They're going to vote for Biden. They just had no choice, so they picked her. This is not what we want. Our movement is pro-borders, pro-jobs, pro-freedom, and 100% pro-America. Pro-America. We are the party, and I think this is so important, we are the party of common sense. You know, people say, oh, you're conservative. No, I don't care. It's like, doesn't matter. We are the party of common sense. We want borders. We want low taxes. We want a strong military. We want to drill, baby, drill. We want to drill, baby, drill, and bring down energy costs. Because your state, New Hampshire, has the highest energy costs in the entire country. Do you know that? And I am going to bring your energy costs down by 50% within 1 year. It'll be easy to do. It'll be easy to do. And it's been that way for a long time. Never made sense. But that's another governor thing. This governor, you got to get him out of there. He's the big Nikki guy, which makes sense. That made sense. When I heard that, you know, he ran for president, but he didn't run. He didn't have the guts to announce it. So he ran. He was trending around the Asa Hutchinson, you know. This guy ran. He was at 0 for a year. Then he hit, 2 months ago, he hit 1%. I said, that was like breaking news. He hit 1%, but the following month he was back to 0. Then he had 1 month where he was 0 with an arrow pointing to the left, meaning he was less. Guy ran for like a year. No, your governor wasn't much better, but in all fairness to Asa, your governor never had the guts to announce. He ran for president, but never announced because he didn't want to announce and have to take it back. So he just pretended like nothing happened. We're wise to him. The radical left Democrats are supporting Nikki for a very simple reason, because they know she's easy to beat. They came out with a poll 2 days ago where she's way down to Biden and I'm way up on Biden. And that's the way it is. She's unelectable. Nikki Haley wants to change the working class. So just think of this. So you have a nice working class, and they want to put a 23% national sales tax on everything that's purchased. Do you think that's good? How about, forget about middle class. How about poor people? They have to pay 23% when they buy something. While she raises, and she wants to do this, the Social Security retirement age by perhaps an extra 10 years, because she's talking about a certain life cycle. So you can labor until the day you die and then not collect a penny out of your benefits that you really are entitled to. We're not going to play with your Social Security, or we're not going to play with your Medicare. Remember that. You know, I know politicians well, because for my whole life, except for the last little while, I had the greatest life going. What the hell did I do? I got indicted more than Alphonse Capone. Can you believe it? Al Capone. If he had dinner with you, even these young ladies, it didn't matter to him. He was equal opportunity. If he had dinner with you, if he didn't like you, he'd kill you. You'd be dead. This guy got indicted less than me. Do you believe it? Because I say the election was rigged. Let me tell you. And it was. And we have all the proof you need, too. If you're lucky enough to live past the retirement age of 75, I guess they go by 75 under the Nikki Haley plan. She wants to gut Medicare using the Paul Ryan scheme. You know Paul Ryan, a rhino? Like the ultimate rhino. He destroys everything. He goes on boards, and the company hasn't done so well since he's done that. But Paul Ryan used to be Speaker of the House. Not a good one. He led the Democrat ads. You know, this was the ad, the granny off the cliff. They took his policy and they say, let's do an ad where we push granny off a cliff in a wheelchair. This was not a good ad for us. That was Paul Ryan. With your vote, it's campaign, and this is on Tuesday, you can declare that the Republican Party is never going back to the days of a weak establishment candidate. Candidates who preach cutting Medicare and Social Security at home while they spend trillions and trillions of dollars on really dumb, endless wars. They never end. They go on for 22 years.
Rachel, you okay?
No. I live with a broken phone. I can't.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to hold nobody. I appreciate. Please hit me up, message me. Find me on Facebook, find me on YouTube. I'm not too far. It's been a very good show for me. Very, very good show for me. I appreciate people stopping through, putting in comments. Appreciate all of that. That's love. That's love. That's love. We do this again. We do this again. But I gotta wrap it up. I gotta get it up out of here, y'all. Spend my 2 hours. I love spending my 2 hours doing this. Now, it was some more breaking news that would have came out. I would have stayed on longer. I appreciate this. But please like, subscribe, share, do all that content, do all that beautiful things. If you like to. If you don't, I understand. That means I got to put on. That means I got to do harder. All right, y'all. I'm about to here. Peace.